Welcome back to What's Next? Living Longer, Better, Smarter. We are grateful to have you with us. This edition, Trends and Tech, is made possible by VividPix.
This is Rick's aunt.
Yep, you can click to listen. Go ahead.
This is Rick's aunt.
I'm Fred Fishkin, along with Mary Furlong. Mary, a big month ahead, and Super Bowl's coming, Valentine's Day on the way. Lots of excitement.
Yeah, I'm really ready to turn the page to February. And of course, I'm a diehard 49er fan. I was there for the catch with Joe Montana and Dwight Clark in person. And I hope they can pull it off again. And I love Valentine's Day. And I really love the work we do with all of you. So excited for this show.
Right. Well, it looks like it should be a great game. You've got the Taylor Swift storyline going there, too. And that brings us to trends. In this episode, we have Trends and Tech. Joining us are Aging and Health Technology Watch founder Laurie Orlov. Hi, Laurie.
Hey there.
And we have some very cool tech you'll want to hear about, like a ring that lets you control your lights, TV, and more. From Lotus Labs, founder and CEO Deval Patel is with us. Hi, Deval.
Hey, good to be here.
And with us from the Netherlands and a company called Whispp, WHISPP, with some amazing speech assistive technology, is founder and CEO Joris Kostermans. Hi, Joris.
That's me. Thank you for having me on the show.
Well, this is a pretty talented group, and we span the globe from India to California to Florida to New Jersey to the Netherlands, all here gathered this morning. This almost sounds like magic. So, Laurie, I'm always so honored to have you as a colleague, and I read your research word for word. So you've got some wonderful new research on 5 trends that matter for older adults and caregivers. So tell us more about your key findings.
Well, they came out of the market overview that I wrote called Technology for Aging 2024 Market Overview. And there's a number of trends that really make a difference, I think, moving forward. I would say the most significant trend is the rise in the use of AI, and not just AI used directly by talking to ChatGPT, but AI that's embedded in technology that you don't even notice has AI in it. And that would be sort of the other kind of AI that we don't talk about much, which is machine learning. Machine learning's ability to scoop up a ton of data that otherwise might not be visible. Let's say it's owned by a corporation, and understand that data well enough to make predictions about changes in behavior of the users of the data. So I'd say the rise in the use of AI is probably one of the biggest tech trends. The other interesting thing going on, I would say, in the technology market right now, and Pew Research just came out with a report today that you might all want to take a look at about technology adoption. But what's obvious is that smartphones are now mainstream in their adoption by older adults. And there is just general greater adoption of technology overall by older adults. But I was particularly struck by the I think we're up to 70% of the 65 plus population, Pew says, are now owners of smartphones. And the smartphone has precipitated an interesting problem that I'm going to be writing more about this year. The key aspect of that problem is the growing fragmentation of the user experience across multiple devices, and the fact that switching from device to device and encountering a new format for the same application is undoubtedly going to be startling. And it brings up the whole issue of whether tech innovators think as much about usability as they should be. And that's why I'm going to be writing a research report a little later in 2024. I'll be publishing it about the tech user experience and how to make it better. but particularly notable in the tech user experience is going to have to be the role of AI. And what I dream about someday happening with AI in our tech user experience is, as I fumble around and make mistakes and continually fail to get at the thing I'm looking for something to pop up and say, are you having trouble? Would you like a little more information about this particular software that you're trying to understand? Would you like a couple of hints? And here's a possible hint to start with. That's what I want. And I would like that to be a uniform interface experience across all technology. So that's one observation I would make about trends. We can talk more about this as the podcast proceeds.
Yeah, we're going to talk more about the issues with Laurie. First, we're going to learn about Lotus Labs and what Deval and his team have developed there. It's called the Lotus Ring. Deval?
Yeah, well, in a nutshell, for people with limited mobility, we're talking veteran soldiers, older adults, and disabled persons, Lotus is a wearable ring that controls objects at home by pointing. But unlike traditional smart home tech, unlike Alexa, there's no apps, no rewiring, and no internet needed.
So tell us how you start, what inspired you to invent the company?
Yeah, it sort of was born out of my own story. I was born with twisted knees. And over the years, I've been on and off crutches a lot. One night, a few years ago, I got into bed, having left some lights on. But I was too tired to get out of bed, hop onto my crutches, hobble 10 feet, turn off the light, hobble back 10 feet, and get back into bed. So I just slept with the lights on the entire night. And woke up in the morning thinking, if someone like me, an engineer managing a division at Apple, with expertise in wall electronics from Lutron and 37 patents, if an engineer like me doesn't even have smart home technology, who does? And so that was the genesis of the product.
Well, let's take a look at a little video of this in action.
So we have 3 wall switches, one in the middle, one on the right, one on the left. The left and the right ones have prototypes set up on them already. And Chinmay, our test user, is going to show us the third.
Okay, come with me. So this is the device that goes on top of the switch. This is what the back side looks like. I just need to place it close to the switch and it snaps on magnetically. And that's it. That's the setup. There's no smartphone required, no downloading any apps, no rewiring. I can control the switch manually by pushing the button on top, like so. Or I can control it from a distance using the ring on my finger. Let's try and turn on just the right switch now. Let's turn on the one in the middle and the one in the kitchen. I'm going to try and turn them all off now.
Nice!
I want to just share a story about how we met for the first time. We were at a wedding, and it was the wedding of one of the winners of our business plan competition. And I remembered your bright eyes, and then, fast forward many years later, and I see you at the CES AgeTech Collaborative exhibit, and you've got the display, and I just watched it happen. And I was so grateful for the talent that you are bringing into the longevity marketplace and for the solution, because I was listening to Stryker this morning, the CEO of Stryker. Knee replacements are way up, hip replacements are way up, mobility challenges are way up. This market's only going to grow, and the need is only going to grow.
Absolutely. In fact, one of the big reasons, just like you mentioned, that we're focused on limited mobility is it's the largest chunk of all disability. And by disability, I mean both permanent as well as temporary. So anyone from people using wheelchairs or crutches to pregnancy, both from prenatal to postnatal, to just us right now, sort of situationally, where we're sitting in a chair in a conference call and we wouldn't want to get up. And so our big thesis at Lotus is optimizing for disability, but making products that are still usable by everyone.
Well, I love the mission, and I love the ease of use of your solution.
Tell us about
Thank
the
you.
availability and the plans to get this onto the hands, I guess, of consumers.
Yeah. So we're about 9 months from launch, and by the time the product gets released, we're thinking we will have a pack. The way Lotus works is you put on the ring. For any existing wall switch, you can snap on a magnetic switch cover that attaches on just using magnets. You can use it manually as well. So as I'm showing, you can press the button and manually turn it on or off, or point and click. And so a pack would include one ring and 2 or 3 Lotus switch covers. And that pack would be for $299, which is the same price point as a smart speaker in Amazon Echo Show. But instead of a smart speaker, you end up with a smart home where you can put one in every room and control it with your ring.
And while you're aiming this at people who have maybe difficulties getting around, I think the market for this could be just general consumers. I mean, there'd be people who think, gee, that's cool. I want to do that, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's interesting. A common use case we get is from gamers who are gaming and don't want to get up. Like I said, our mission statement is we build tech that is usable by anyone, but is optimized for disability first. So by solving for them, you help anyone and everyone, but it especially helps the people that need it the most. So absolutely, the market is massive.
Terrific. Well, there's also a personal story behind Whispp. Joris, tell us what you've developed and why.
Yeah, so and you will notice is that I tend to stutter, and when I was a child, I was a more severe stutterer. And about 5 years ago, I had this kind of insight that we could use the fact that when people stutter severely, when they whisper, they are really fluent. So mainly the anxiety and the tension of speaking reduces when people who stutter severely when they whisper. So the core idea for Whispp is then to develop real-time assistive voice technology that converts this whispered speech into a clear and natural voice, so you can be understand really well. And when we started, soon many people with voice disorders reached out. So people with throat cancer, vocal cord paralysis, spasmodic dysphonia. So voice disability where the vocal cords are removed or non-functional anymore. So with that, our target group grew, quadrupled.
Now we're going to take a look at how this works. There's some video that's pretty remarkable.
Hello, my name is George Koster. 3 years ago, I suddenly noticed that I couldn't speak any voice, and I found out that my vocal cords were paralyzed. Since then, I speak like this.
Welcome, George, here at Whispp. Today you will hear your voice again, your healthy voice, and you will hear it in a second.
Hello, my name is George Koster. 3 years ago, I suddenly noticed that I couldn't speak any voice, and I found out that my vocal cords were paralyzed. Since then, I speak like this.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Are you able to show us some as well, Joris? Do you want to do that?
And you can download the app for free for iOS and for Android, and you can just play around with it. And the easiest way of learning how Whispp sounds is to record a small voice message. So this is the main screen for the voice messages, and I can just start with a short message. Hello, Fred, Val, and Laurie. It's really nice to meet you. This is Joris from the Netherlands, and as you can hear, I'm currently whispering. So it's converting to Barry, Val, and Laurie. It's really nice to meet you. This is Joris from the Netherlands, and as you can hear, I'm currently whispering. So this is a non-synchronous a messaging functionality, but we launched at the start of CES, we launched our phone functionality. So you can use the dialer just to dial the number you want to reach, or you can use the contacts within the Whispp app to reach family, friends, or whoever you want.
That's
Yeah.
really exciting. I see potential for stroke victims too.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So the big difference with current technologies, with speech technologies, we are using an audio to audio based AI. So the big difference with the current solutions is that it's real time. So current solutions take 2, 3, 4 seconds to recognize the non-standard speech and then synthesize the text. We are converting it on the fly.
Wow.
And this
Laurie,
is a subscription model, yours? Tell us how this works.
Yeah, that's true. It's a subscription model. You can try Whispp out for free. And you'll have 10, 50 minutes to make phone calls, just to see how it works for you. And then you can decide to buy a subscription. It starts from $19.99 for 60 minutes for reaching fixed and mobile numbers. And you can also ask family and friends to download the app, and they can reach you too. And you can have also video calls with it. And that's about 6 hours for the app-to-app conversations.
You know, I'm beginning to see a real convergence of technologies that support the disability community and technologies that support aging. Laurie, these are great examples of innovations on the way. What do you know about the importance of these kinds of innovations and others in improving the lives of older adults and their caregivers? And what are your thoughts about these two companies?
Well, I would say in both cases, they're solving a problem. And you could say that it's a problem related to a disability, or you could say it's a problem that, in fact, many people have at various times in their life, and not just older people, not just younger people. And they would benefit from the use of either of these technologies. And they remind me of some other technologies that are out there, but we don't need to get into a discussion about that now, although I might inquire at some point as how does this compare to a few other things that I've heard about. I would say the convergence, I would say to the point, Mary, you just raised, the disability market, and this is one of the things that I'm going to be thinking about in this tech user experience report I'm writing, but the disability market, or as you might see it on Apple's website, the tech for accessibility. One of the things that is concerning to me in general about accessibility is that it is a separate category that tech vendors offer up about whatever their technology happens to be. And if you didn't know it existed, you wouldn't know where to find it. And they're doing, and that's a historical artifact of the fact of way disability initiatives in general have been funded in the past. It's much as anything, it's related to funding. But I think in the future, my vision actually is accessibility capabilities of technology become the default, and you have to actually turn them off in order to experience an application without them. If that were to ever happen, and that's part of my vision about the tech user experience, if that were to ever happen, it would come as such a shock to all these people who do not know about the idea of converting a whisper to a voice, or the idea of using a smart home capability to turn on the lights or something like that because you had mobility issues. And so that's my dream, is we reverse these. All applications that you see on the internet start out as being accessible, and you have to change your mind to turn it off.
And maybe one little thing to add there, just a short one. We think that for the future, when Whispp is really robust and sounds even better than it sounds now, we think non-patients and people without problems with their voice could benefit from Whispp, because having silent and confidential phone calls, for example, we recognize the situations where you want to have this call, but you can be heard. You don't want to be heard, or you don't want to disturb people around you. So in our roadmap, in that sense, and of course, it's my mission to help the people with voice disabilities, of course, first. But it also fits the roadmap wonderfully because people who have this voice disability, they are already helped with the audio, the conversion quality we can deliver now.
Right.
So for us, from a business perspective, it's a really logical roadmap in that sense too.
Yes.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree more with Laurie. I mean, there's a history of this. We just don't pay attention to it. The straw that we all use was actually originally created to help someone with a disability.
Right.
The ramps that you see on sidewalks were originally created to help people with disabilities. But if you're carrying groceries and you have a cart, or it's an older adult, or you're walking a baby stroller, anyone and everyone use it as well. So whether it's your assist technology or Lotus or anything else, Laurie, I completely agree with you. I think at some point in the future that will be the default because everyone wants and can benefit from those features, and you have to decide that it's not necessarily beneficial for you for that to not be the case.
Or at a particular time in your life, it's not necessary for you, but at another time in your life, it actually becomes necessary. And that's the thing
Absolutely.
about the other thing about technology capabilities like these and others is how generally not visible they are in searching. So you're looking for something, you don't know how to phrase the thing you're looking for, and it is not a default to show it to you. You have to come up with another way to phrase the question. And gentlemen, if you think of some thoughts about the tech user experience, I'm just kicking off this report in the next week or so. And if you want to send me an email about your thoughts or just an email, I will include you in the interview cycle for this because I'm going to interview 20 to 30 companies. And hopefully, aside from the idea of reversing the accessibility menu, hopefully we'll come up with some more ideas.
Yeah, Laurie, I'd be happy to volunteer myself as well. Actually, one of the things I used to do at Apple, my specialty is human interface. Human interface for UI and UX. And so I would be more than happy to, both in the context of Lotus and otherwise, which is specifically why our solution at Lotus was made to be low cognitive effort and low physical effort.
Right.
But to your point, I mean, making a uniform user interface across platforms is equally important. So there's lots to be talked about in that space.
Okay, I'd love to do it.
And Apple, of course, became as big as it became, I suppose, with things like the iPod and the iPhone, et cetera, because of the user experience, I think, more than anything else, that it was ease of use. I know many older adults years ago I was surprised, hey, you're using an iPhone. Well, it's just so easy to use. And
I think it's the anniversary of the Mac, and I have one of the first Macs. I used to be on the Apple Education Board, but I remember Alan Brightman talking about, if you design in the right way, it's access for everyone. So this is very promising discussion, I think. Congratulations, Deval and Joris, on your innovation and your new companies. And Laurie, congratulations on your report.
Thank you.
Tell us how people can find you all.
Deval, you can go first if you like.
Sure. Well, to get more information on the ring that controls objects at home by pointing, feel free to go to getlotus.com. That's GETLOTUS.com. And to get in touch with me, it's my first name, DHAVAL, Deval, at getlotus.com.
And Joris at Whispp?
Yeah, please read more about Whispp on our website, whispp.com, WHISPP.com. And I would say, for sure, download the app and play around because it's fun for people who don't have a voice disorder. We have, for example, a lot of speech therapists who are also downloading the app to show them to patients. So please download the app for iOS and Android and start the free trial. You can reach me on my email. That's joris@wisp.com, JORIS Whispp.com.
And it could eliminate the problem of that loud person sitting near you at the restaurant talking on the phone, right?
Absolutely.
And Laurie, tell us more about how people can learn more about all
It's,
you're doing.
So the website is called ageinplacetech.com. I put it in the chat window. It's all one word, ageinplacetech.com. And I can be reached at Laurie@ageinplacetech.com. My name is spelled Laurie. And if you go to my website, you'll see that I'm a prolific writer with no ads, which is unusual on the internet for people who write the type of material I write. And it has no ads, so it has a lot of content. Sometimes older people get on my site and they say it's too busy, there's too much information. But my feeling is there's no such thing. So,
Laurie, I can't let this Valentine's podcast go by without admiring the work you do in bringing music into the lives of older adults, because you do play the piano, and often you play it in senior living. And one of my favorite songs that you play is Someone to Watch Over Me,
which I have nicknamed the nursing home song. It's what we all want, someone to watch over me.
Exactly. Well, this has been a global win, I would say. Thank you, Deval, Joris, and Laurie, and Fred, for bringing all this together. It's been wonderful to be with you all this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Terrific. And we want to thank our sponsor for this episode, VividPix. Find more and learn about their new memory station solutions at vivid-pix.com. Don't let your memories fade. We appreciate all of you for watching or listening. You can always find more at maryfurlong.com/podcast.